Welcome to Arohan Uncut. Today, we are going to talk about dealing with a failure you could not prevent from Success Mantra by Dr. Seema Borah. Failure. A failure that you could not prevent should be the easiest failure to handle. After all, you could not have prevented it, but unfortunately, it's often the most challenging one to process. One of the most common and painful examples in losing a job due to the company cutting costs, getting fired with no prior notice virtually overnight can become one of the most traumatic events in life. Another example of negative event that you often can't prevent is a breakup of a relationship or being cheated on. The dreaded I need to tell you something conversation doesn't always come with a prior notification. Naturally, the longer you were in the relationship, the more difficult it is to recover. Just like an unexpected job loss, losing a key to relationship in your life can result in long-term trauma. Is there anything you can do to prepare yourself for a negative event that you can't prevent or to recover from it more quickly? Is a failure sometimes indeed unpreventable, or is there something you can always do to reduce the risk of it happening? That's what we will talk about in this chapter, and here's where Stoicism comes into the play. This ancient Greek school of philosophy proposes several fundamental principles to live by. While they all can be useful and valuable to a modern person, the tenets we were most interested in for the purpose of this chapter are the following. Number 1. Accept what can't be changed. Arian, a 2nd century disciple of the prominent Greek Stoic Epictetus, opens his Enchiridion and Epictetus, a Stoic manual based on the teaching of Epictetus, with the following words. Some things are in our control and others not. Whenever you find yourself angry at a situation you cannot change, remind yourself that it's not up to you. I know that it sounds over simplistic, but as counterintuitive as it is, accepting that things are beyond your control will give you a sense of peace and enable to you move on. After all, there's nothing else you can do, so why not accept that the matter is settled and move on? You dress according to the weather and not according to what you would like the weather to be like. Staying angry when you can't influence a situation is not only unproductive, it's also like giving yourself an unnecessary punishment. Stoicism is based on the concept that peace of mind comes from focusing on what you can control instead of wasting your energy on things you cannot change. According to the Stoics, the only things you can always control are your thoughts. According to the Stoics, the only things you can always control are your own thoughts and subsequent beliefs, attitudes, and actions. Everything else, whatever is not your own thought, belief, or action, is outside of your control. So, getting annoyed when something doesn't go your way is a waste of resources. This doesn't mean that Stoic exhibits learned helplessness because they could not fully control the world around them. Stoicism has never been about fatalism. Accepting that certain things are beyond your control doesn't mean that you should stop any efforts to improve yourself. Rather, it's about not dwelling on things not going on your way, which in turn frees up mental energy to focus on the things that you to control. A great habit to cultivate to become better accepting that you can't change certain things is to deliberately introduce uncomfortable changes in your life. By stepping outside your comfort zone, you will learn how to adapt a unfamiliar situations, and this skill will help you to react with more resilience to an unplanned negative situation over which you can't exert control. For example, I have already slept in a car on a couple of occasions. If I am forced to leave out of my car, it won't be outside my comfort zone. When facing a situation that you cannot change, another way to process negative feelings is to acknowledge your emotions. Try to find a root reason why you are feeling them. Ask yourself that they are trying to tell you and how you cannot or how you can accomplish your situation goal in the few situation. Resisting your negative emotions or worse venting and everything and everyone is a surefire way to suffer more than unnecessary or necessary. As the old adage goes, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Number 2, practice misfortune. Stoics suggest that practicing misfortune and visualizing negative things happening in your life by imagining yourself in or actually putting yourself in a situation that mimics a possible negative event, you can practice your reaction to it. And that can help you build the mental resilience to handle such circumstances in the future. It gives you tremendous control over your life because whatever it throws at you, you will already have a plan B to bounce back. Note that while you often can't control what happens, you can always control your emotions. Practicing misfortunes helps you to get the better handling your emotional reactions. This can be as simple as taking a cold shower or camping out in the wilderness. Going without modern luxuries is difficult at first, but you quickly get used to the new circumstances. In the future, whenever you want, have access to hot running water, a comfortable bed, or even a roof over your head, you will quickly readapt. After all, you have already experienced it and have probably developed alternative ways to take care of your hygiene and ensure good night's sleep.